All right, here we are off on the Tiger 800 XRT today. Just do a little local tour. It's a balmy 68 degrees today. 2 in the afternoon. I have a tour through my yard, garden, whatever. Must be summertime. All the sprinklers out. And the dead grass where the sprinkler doesn't reach. Good time to start storing firewood. Do a little off-roading, green laning. Guys came to pick up the neighbor's swamp willow. Some kind of willow, at least. Today we're heading out on Highway 302 in Belfair, Washington. Most of my tours will be around the Olympic Peninsula, from Belfair to Shelton, which is about 25 miles south of Belfair, up through Hoodsport, which is at the base of the Olympic Mountains, basically, along the Hood Canal. Today I'm going to take a little tour through Allen. Cute little town, not the most quintessential old U.S. town, but kind of cute. Fun little burger joint, gas station, a couple of quickie marts, sorta. Very old church, boat launch, stuff like that. Then we'll head south, but then detour along Grapeview Loop Road. Well, more of that when we get to it. Looks like the tide is way out right now. This is Case Inlet. Inlet comes from the very south end of the Puget Sound up into, well, our little neighborhood is the northern peak of Case Inlet. Boy, it's just a beautiful day for a ride. Any day you can get out and go for a ride is a good day. I think even if you're going to work and you get to commute on a motorcycle, can't be all that bad. Into Allen on Highway 3. There's the church I mentioned. The burger joint, Big Bubba's. It's pretty good burgers. Ridiculous amount of fries, chips. Again, south, headed south on Highway 3. If you're ever looking up these rides and you're wondering how to get to the start points, hopefully I can leave a map occasionally of where I start, or explain as I go. Highway 3 runs from Shelton to Hallsborough, I believe. Should we go in front of this guy or after him? We'll wait for him to go by. And along Highway 3, there's Bremerton. There's a split off in Bremerton that goes to Port Orchard. It's Highway 16. So this is great for you, Loop Road. The nice, calm, twisty road. It's got some nice twisties, but it's not too sharp. They're more like big sweepers, as some might put it. And there's often wildlife. The amount of people that have hit deer along this road is kind of shocking. There was a guy some years ago, I had an old Volkswagen bus, like the mid-70s version. One of the green ones with the camper van, the Westfalia. And he had a big dent in the front of his bus. And he put a big fake Band-Aid over the top of it with a label, Deer Hunter. He must have hit a good-sized deer. There was a good dent in that little bus. But it's a really pretty ride. There's some tidal zones along the way. There's plenty of green trees. Lots of fir, cedar, this time of year, maples. Beautiful riding locations. Grapeview was named after, obviously, the grape growing industry. It's a bit of a big word for such a small area, but there's a winery in Grapeview on Stretch Island, which most of the island was once covered with grapevines. And later on, the grapes were used for Stretch Island fruit leather. Then became Kellogg's something or other fruit leather. But yeah, the area is known for its grape production. The winery is it's gone out of business some years ago. Now I think there's a winery museum. It's like I said, that's on Stretch Island. One of the two islands that's accessible from Grapeview Loop Road. The first one we come across is Treasure Island, which used to be called Reach Island. Stretch and Reach. But I think in the late 50s they changed it to Treasure Island. The island's really thickly populated. There's a lot of cabins, weekenders, holiday homes, quite a few permanent homes on that island. Quite the difference from Stretch Island. Stretch Island is barely 2 miles long and it's got maybe 100 full-time homes on there. Maybe that. And of course you got the propane tank art. Use the word art loosely. I take a quick tour across Stretch Island. Treasure Island's more of a pain to get on. It's got a one-lane bridge. You have to stop at a light until it's your turn. And there's speed bumps all the way around the island. Not that my wonderful Triumph Tiger couldn't handle those speed bumps, but it's not that pretty either because the houses are all dumped on top of each other. Stretch Island Bridge is, as you can see, a two-lane bridge, and no toll, no light, no nothing but low tide underneath it right now. It smells great. It smells like seaweed. This is a no firearms island. So if you got Bambi eating all your grapes, you gotta chase him away another way short of shooting him. And there's, to be honest, quite a fair share of deer on this island. These fields are still grapevines. You can see the grapes growing up through some of the trees. Then you've got yard sale? I don't know. Some more grapes down this way. A little bit here and there. These trees on the left that look like a bunch of sticks, they used to be Christmas trees. The old guy that ran that Christmas tree farm passed away. His family sold the house and they turned into a forest. Coming up to my friend and his family's property, the one with a little red shed and the vineyard. They are actually making wine out of their grapes. I think they took a tour somewhere on the continent, Europe, to learn how to do said vineyard work. Great couple, fantastic family, really good people. This is going down by their house. This is kind of the end of the road this way. And this is a private road that goes to their house. Their cabin. They got a cabin and a little bunkhouse. But then they bought the adjoining couple of houses, or adjacent houses, sorry. They bought this place up here, which is pretty much a wreck. And they bought this house down here they call the tar paper house because it's still covered in some tar paper. This is their cabin over here on the right with the boat. I see a car there, but I don't think that's theirs. They might be loaning the place out for the weekend, a week. That's how we found this area. They bought that cabin years ago, and they offered it to us for a week for coaching their son. My dad and I used to coach their son soccer. Either way, they've got a beautiful view of the water, and when it's clear, Mount Rainier is right smack in the middle of their view. Can't see it so much right now. A little cloudy. I love the self-canceling indicators on this Triumph, although sometimes I'm in a habit of clicking it off anyway because it's 40 years of doing that. Let's stop at the top of the bridge here and have a look at the view. It's not the kind of bridge you want to go diving off, because the water isn't that deep when it is in. That's Treasure Island over there. See the little bridge? And you can see there's quite a few homes. I mean, there's quite a few homes on this end of the Church Island, but it's because it's close to the bridge and they're in sunny positions during the afternoon. But once again, beautiful views are abound. and not a lot of traffic. Traffic out here is a little different than just even in Allen. Allen, probably some commuters coming back and forth, but I mean at 2 in the afternoon, there's more like weekenders coming out. Or this area is kind of a touristy area for holiday makers that are just wanting to get away, and they have a cabin or they bring their RV or something like that. There's a lot of spaces for that. And we're back on Grapeview Loop Road, headed south towards Highway 3. The local paintball park. Here we come up to a T intersection with Highway 3 again. We sort of just did a loop off Highway 3. We're taking a right on Mason-Benson Road, which leads towards the Hood Canal. Work area ahead, huh? Oh, looks like utilities / tree removal. Yeah, just backing up for the day. They're about done. Mason-Benson Road is named after Mason Lake and Benson Lake. They weren't real creative, I guess. But it makes it more handy if you're new to the area or you're looking for some directions or something. You go, oh yeah, Benson Lake Road. Yeah, it goes right by Benson Lake. Benson Lake is a no motorboat lake. So paddle boats, I think electric motorboats, but not fast. So it's like a trolling fishing kind of lake. I think the lake gets fed every year with trout. Mason Lake does too, but Mason Lake is a no holds barred kind of lake. Oh my gosh, during the peak season, Labor Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July kind of weekends, it's just inundated with boats. And it is house all the way around the lake. Houses are very close. This is Benson Lake Road. Just beyond it, through there, well, you can't quite see, is Benson Lake. It's a lot quieter, not as populated, because everyone wants to be on a lake they can go put their boat in. The Benson Lake has this other attributes, I think, because it is quieter. And here again, it's just a loop around the lake, and this is the other end of the Benson Lake Road. We're going to take a right on Mason Lake Road, which does actually lead us down to, if you read that sign, Hood Canal and Highway 106. Mason Lake Road, like I say. As you can see around me, a lot of the trees are kind of little. How come they're so little? They're farmed. All these trees on either side of the highway are all farmed. So every 35, 40 years, I think, they cut them down. Obviously the ones on the left over here are probably 30 years old, give or take. They don't typically allow them to get to 100 foot like some of the ones right in front of me. They harvest them a little bit before that. It's kind of a shame. There's the entrance to Mason Lake there. There's one of the entrances. There's about 4, I think. There's a boat launch. There's a little park there. Pretty nice lake, but like I say, very busy. Get a lot of the trees. Sorry, what's going on about? It's very exciting, I'm sure. They are farmed and or are Christmas trees. I mean, they'll look like Christmas trees to some people. Some people come up to the Northwest and go, "Oh my gosh, look at all the Christmas trees!" Like, yeah, that's just a fir tree. Doug firs and hemlocks, stuff like that, are often used for Christmas tree up here. If you live in the South, it's a different spruce that's used out of North Carolina. But I've been in Florida and gone to a Christmas tree farm and seen Bellevue, Washington Christmas tree farm. I'm like, yeah, Bellevue doesn't have any Christmas tree farms. I lived there when I was young. They get the trees, and the company is in Bellevue, but the trees come from this area or Shelton. Shelton's a small town a little bit south of here. I think I mentioned that earlier. But it's got a nickname of Christmas Tree Town, USA. And there are a ton of Christmas tree farms around there. So now we come back down onto, not back to, but down to Highway 106 on the Hood Canal. We're going to go left towards Jagville, S-type. Oh, I didn't cut that guy off, but geez, he's coming along quick. This heads down towards Shelton. It loops around the southern end of the Hood Canal. If you follow it enough, it'll dead end into Highway 101. The road that goes basically from the northern end of Washington. I think it goes all the way down into California, like way down into California, but it's all along the coast, and it's, for the most part, beautiful ride, unless of course you get stuck behind Grandpa on his fifth wheel, which I shouldn't say because I am a grandpa and I've had a fifth wheel. Well, anyway, yeah, beautiful drive. Likewise here. The tide is out, but it's still a neat ride. It's a little cooler when the tide is up because it's right up by the road and you get that nice cool breeze blowing across the road. It's a nice, refreshing kind of breeze. So here I am headed south on Highway 106 or South Shore Road. We'll go to Fish Police. We'll go to Twanoh State Park? Yes, Twanoh State Park. They got a boat launch there. They got a kind of a beach. It's still a rocky beach. It's rocky, sandy kind of beach. Western Washington, Puget Sound area beaches are not known for being beautiful white sands or beautiful yellow sand, whatever. No, we do gray rocks and pebbles and some gravelly kind of sand. But we also have fantastic views beyond. Here it is, Twanoh State Park. It's a 25 zone because of the camping. So I guess I had to get down to at least 30-ish, maybe. Ah, look at that. People on a beach pretending like it's warm. Actually, it is pretty warm. 71 degrees for here is downright balmy. Thought that police as well, but wasn't. So we're going to pull into the boat launch. Is that the boat launch? No, the boat launch is up there. Because it's got a hell of a view from the boat launch. It's kind of neat. You're supposed to have a Discover Pass. Yeah, or pay $10 for parking for the day. I'm not going to be parking for the day. I'm going to ride through, have a look at the view. Park on the grass. Dead grass. Just have a check out of the view, and I'll get headed back up the road. It's a little breezy out here. It's nice. Very nice. Hood Canal was named after one of Vancouver's lieutenants, I think. Or was it lieutenant at that time? Anyway, I think it was something to do with Vancouver's crew as they charted around the Puget Sound area and pretty much up and down the west coast. And across to Vancouver Island, into Canada. And up and down western edge of Canada is charted and explored by those fellas. But yeah, Hood was one of the crew. All right, well, I think I'm about to wrap it up here. Here's our lovely Triumph XRT. Looks good like that in the sun. Really nice. Anyway, have a good day. Keep the shiny side up.